Hello, welcome back to another video. My name is Gemma and today I'm going to be talking about 8 amazing books in translation that are coming before the end of the year. So if you are new here, you may not know, but I am a massive fan of translated literature, and so I kind of wanted to highlight some of the new stuff coming through between now and 2023. And so I have 8 books for you. Caveat, the first one I'm going to talk about has already been released, and that is because I am a bit behind on my filming and this should have gone up earlier, but I wanted to include it because it's one that I'm really excited about. So the first book on my list is Our Share of Night by Mariana Enriquez, translated by McDowell. And Mariana Enriquez is an author that has previously been longlisted, if not shortlisted, for the International Booker Prize. I think it was with a set of short stories, and short stories are not my jam, but a full-length fantastical horror novel, now that I can get invested in. So in this we're following a young boy, and he is sort of destined to commune with the dead, following in the footsteps of his father. However, there are a sort of political sect that want to sort of take him away and exploit this power, and his father obviously does not want that to happen. And it's sort of like a race against time and the evils of the world, both spiritual and real, as to whether his father can save him from his fate. So it sounds really super interesting. Apologies if you can hear Charlie screaming in the background. He's fine. They're just, Charlie and Daddy are playing downstairs. But yeah, it sounds really, really interesting, and I absolutely want to have a go at this. Kudos where kudos is due. I actually saw this on Simon Savage's channel, Savage Reads, and he's got me completely interested in this book. So that is on the list, and that came out on the 13th of October. I'm filming on the 15th, so it's been out for 2 days, and this video probably won't go up till tomorrow, so it's probably been up 3 days by the time you see this. But how good does that book sound? The next book on my list that I would like to read is, Our Share of Night is translated from the Spanish. So the next book on my list is The Picture Bride by Geum, translated by Seon J, and this is translated from the Korean. And in this is following a real historical event that happens where women from Korea would effectively be shipped off to marry American men in Hawaii, having only ever seen a picture of them. And in this we follow 3 such women who have nothing but a photo to inform them of what their betrothed lives will be like. And when they arrive in Hawaii, some of the pictures aren't quite true to reality, and so then we follow these 3 women and what their marriages mean for them. And it sounds like it could be heartbreaking in places, quite traumatic, and I really want to read it. And that comes out on the 10th of November. Apologies, these aren't in date order, just because I wrote them down in the order that I discovered them, and I didn't have time to rewrite them, so c'est la vie. The next book is a book translated from the Japanese, and that's The Boy and the Dog by Seishu Hase, translated by Alison. And this just sounds delightful and heartbreaking in equal measure. So definitely a Gemma book. And in this, a earthquake and a tsunami hit Japan, and in the aftermath of that, a man finds a stray dog outside of a convenience store and sort of adopts him. And then that dog goes on an epic journey to find the boy who he originally belonged to, and we follow this dog and a succession of owners as he tries to find his boy. And I just thought that sounded so lovely, and as I say, potentially heartbreaking. And that is released on the 1st of December. The next book that I want to talk about is another Japanese translation, and that is Audur Burning by Rin Usami, translated by Hase Yoneda, and this is coming out on the 3rd of November. And this one, it says it gives an insight into otaku culture. I don't really know what that is, but I think it's to do with pop culture and that sort of thing. Want to read this to find out what that is. But we follow a young woman, a young girl, who is obsessed with a member of a boy band, and she writes blogs on him, and sort of it turns into a story of obsession and at the same time a coming of age novel. And it just sounds like it could be quite tense, quite unsettling in places, and so I'm here for it. I want to read that. Next we have My Soul Twin by Nino Haratischivili, translated by Charlotte Collins, and this is translated from the Georgian, and you may recognise this author. This is the author of The Eighth Life, which I haven't read yet, but I do own on my Kindle, and it's been a book I've absolutely been wanting to get to for ages, but it's massive. So all I read about this to get me hooked was firstly that it was the author of The Eighth Life, which has been massively popular, and also it's a Wuthering Heights retelling. So I don't know much more than that. It's forbidden love and secrets and the ties that bind us and all that sort of good stuff. So yeah, a Wuthering Heights retelling. Yes, please. And that one is coming out on the 10th of November. Next we have a book translated from the Icelandic, Animal Life by Audur Olafsdottir, translated by Brian Fitzgibon, and this takes place in Iceland, and we are following the life of a midwife. She has been a midwife for her whole life, as has her mother and her grandmother and her great aunt. It's come down through the legacies, and as a storm approaches Reykjavik, she finds some secret letters, some hidden letters from her great aunt, and she reads them, and it's not until this storm starts to hit that she is able to make sense of what they contain. I love midwives in books, random, but I do. And yeah, set in Iceland, dark, stormy. Oh, sounds perfect for winter, right? Next, not usually my jam, but this one piqued my interest. We have an Argentinian thriller. So Urgent Matters by Paula Radriguez, translated by Sarah Moses, who I believe was the translator of Elena Knows. And this comes out on the 3rd of November. And in this, a train crashes in Buenos Aires, and nearly all of the passengers die, only a few survive. But one of the survivors on that train is someone who is wanted in a homicide investigation, and he has to pretend to be dead when the police arrive on scene to sort of mop up the dead and pick out the survivors, and then it's him sort of going from there. So I have no idea how that's going to escalate, but the premise, the setup, yes, I want to read that book. And the last one on my list is the only non-fiction I have for you, and that is What You Have Left Behind by Bushra Al-Maqtari, translated by Sawad Hussain, and this is translated from the Arabic and is being released on the 19th of October. This sounds pretty harrowing. This is a book about the Yemeni civil war that happened in 2015 and claimed over 300,000 lives. And in this, the author has spoken to over 400 people who were involved or who lived through, experienced that war, and has collated those testimonials into this book to give the reader an understanding of what happened within that war. I, for one, know absolutely nothing about the Yemeni civil war, and so I think it will be a really important read, and one that is going to be pretty high up my list of books to read over the next couple of months. And that, my friends, is that is 8 books in translation that are coming over the next couple of months that I desperately want to get my hands on. And yeah, let me know if any of these pique your interest, if any were already on your radar, or if I have enlightened you as to some new releases coming. And I will see you very soon with another one. Bye guys.